Kevan says, I want you. But even the way he said, I want you, I do not believe him. And the crazy thing about it is Tyler doesn't believe him either. Because as he's saying words to try to reassure Tyler and not make her, make her less upset, Tyler is crashing out on the other side. Like, you can tell she's like pissed off. She's stressed. She's like, she's freaking out because I can tell that she doesn't believe him, right? And I'm like, this is not your guy. He doesn't this is not your guy, I'm like, this is not. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's jump right back in. We are going to be reviewing episode 4 of Love is Blind. So we jump right back into where we left off with Connor and Emma, and Connor is still basically unsure. And he basically apologizes to Emma and he lets her know that he has a stronger connection with someone else. I think Emma took it pretty well. Obviously, she was sad about it, but, I think this was probably a good decision. I feel for Emma because, she had 3 connections I think in episode 1 or 2, right? And now she's down to 1. And let's be real, this was the connection she has left now was not the connection she originally wanted. So I really do feel for Emma. Then we go back to Devonte and Britney, and basically he opens up about how his dad was not really in his life, and that his dad also passed away when he was only 18 years old. And Devonte, says to Britney that he doesn't understand why a father wouldn't want to be a part of their child's life. And he says to her that he wants to be a husband and a father, and that really excites him because he doesn't want to be an absent father like his father was, which I think is great, great to hear. Britney's talking about having this tingly wiggly feeling down there. So they're kind of flirting a little bit, and Devonte explains that he has that feeling too. And they're laughing, and I seem like there's really good chemistry between these two. I feel like their conversations have been pretty good, so things are going well with them. Then we go back to Chris and Jessica, and Chris was the one that broke things off with Bree, right, to pursue Jessica. So he basically tells her that he's in love with her, and he proposes, and Jessica says yes. So I'm excited about these two. I know Chris was worried about Jessica's height, so we will see how that unfolds, but I don't think Jessica is that tall, so I think that they will be okay. Okay, so we go back to the women's quarters and we see Emma basically contemplating what to do at this point. And she basically says that she doesn't necessarily want to go with her second choice, which was Mike, right? Just because her first option didn't want her, right? And chose someone else. And I feel for Emma because at the end of the day, if I was Mike, it's definitely giving second best, right? And nobody wants to feel second best. It's not the best feeling. So she's kind of torn on what to do. We see Emma and Mike have a pod date, and Emma is extremely honest with him and basically says to him that she had another connection that, cut it off with her at this point, and that she, it seems, I don't know what happened between Emma and Mike in between the time that Emma was talking with Connor and I don't know, because we haven't seen them talk. So, I know it's not the best feeling for Mike, but I'm so happy that Emma was so honest with Mike because, guys, on this type of show of Love is Blind, we see this a lot where people will have a second option, but they will never tell them that they're the second option. They'll say, I'm so excited to continue this journey with you, or, they won't be honest about the fact that they had another connection that didn't work out. Right. And I like that Emma owned up to it. She was straight up because I think she wanted to give Mike that opportunity for him to make the decision of, even if I do feel like second best, do I still want to even give it a chance with Emma? Right. And I'm so happy that Emma gave him that ability to make that decision, because in the past, people in the pods are not honest about having multiple connections. They're manipulative about it, and they make it seem like their second option was the option they always wanted, right? We see that game happening a lot. So I like Emma for that. I like Emma a lot. So he basically reassures her that she has been his number one since the beginning. Mike isn't really fazed by the fact that he, has been in a way chosen as second. And I think that that's really sweet. And he's not like making her feel bad about it at all. If anything, he's just reassuring her that he still has those feelings for her that he had before. Okay, so then we go back to Connor and Bree, and Bree says some really nice things about Connor that she wrote down. Connor proposes and Bree says yes. So this is another couple that I'm not going to lie, I am really excited about. I think that they're a really good match. There's something about them that's giving like, I just think that it's a good sign when you are very comfortable with someone. And I feel like in their pod dates, they have been very comfortable. And I see that like, lighthearted connection, like they can joke with each other. I feel like they really get each other. So I'm very excited for these two. Then we go back to Kevan. Guys, I'm so sick of Kevan. The fact that he even has two options is diabolical. He deserves no options. I don't know what it is. Let me know if you guys like Kevan, but I'm not a fan. I don't trust anything that comes out of his mouth. I feel like he says everything with no energy. He's like, I have feelings for you, Tyler. Like there's no energy behind anything he says. Like, I don't like him. I don't like him. But he's still here, so let's talk about it. All right, so Kevan is talking with Kia. Kia basically says in her confessionals that she's not really worried about what is going on in the women's quarters and the fact that like, Kevan is also connecting with Tyler, and that if anything, she's focused on their connection. Exactly, Kia. And this is why, guys, I love Kia, because she's seeing things for the way that they should be. Like, you don't need to be worried about Tyler. All you need to be worried about is how you feel about Kevan, how Kevan feels about you. Kia is locked in, okay? She's not worried about any other girl. You see the way Tyler is freaking out, is flipping out in the women's quarters, is saying, oh, who's the other? Like, it's so unnecessary, right? Kia's not using her energy that way. She's like, all I care about is the connection I have with Kevan. She's locked in. I like Kia. And honestly, she's too good for Kevan. So I don't even want them to be together because I think Kia deserves better. But that's neither here nor there. Let me stop. Okay, so we see that Kia got Kevan a watch as a gift. And this was like very sentimental to her. So, he was really moved by this and says that she's basically a phenomenal person that deserves the world. And he says this like multiple times, that she's like so amazing and so phenomenal. And even the way he's saying it, I wonder if Kevan even feels like he is enough for Kia. There's something about the way he's saying it where I almost feel like he doesn't even think he's good enough for Kia. And quite frankly, I don't think he's good enough for Kia. But I get this sense that like he's saying that and saying she's so amazing because I don't think he's amazing, guys. I do not. And I think he knows that. So yeah, I don't know. He even says at some point, he says it with, it's crazy because I was thinking this before he even said it as I was watching, the show. And he says he doesn't know if he's worth the love of Tyler or Kia. If a man ever says they don't think that they're worthy of you or that they're not, quite frankly, they're not. And he's starting to realize that he's not even worth, like, he's not even worthy to have Kia or Tyler. He's not. And he knows that. He knows that. And to me, I'm like, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. So he says that he feels very heavy and he's still like confused on what to do. All right. Then we go back to the women's quarters. We see Tyler again talking to the women, talking about how all the power is in Kevan's hands, and she doesn't really like that at all. I'm not surprised because I can tell that Tyler seems to be a little bit of a control freak. I know that she's got a really good job and like gotten to a point where she's pretty high, and like there's something about her where I feel like she likes to control every situation. And I think that that's been an issue for her in her dating life, right? This is why the producer was telling her, don't give up yet. See if there's still something that can work out with Kevan, because she doesn't like that she doesn't have that power. She doesn't like that the power is in Kevan's hands. And I get how she feels. It's not the best feeling. And let's be real, Kevan, in my opinion, should have made up his decision by now. Like, he's kind of dragged this along for a while, right? So Tyler's like, I don't want to just be a sitting duck. Like, come on now. We see Kia returns from her pod date and she comes back with a gift box. I forgot to mention that Kevan also gave Kia a gift when they had their pod date, and it was like a basketball. So Kia comes back to the women's quarters with this box that looks like a gift and tells all the women that he got her a basketball. You know, obviously Tyler can hear this. She's really not happy. And we see her like get up and she goes to talk to Kevan about this. Tyler is clearly very upset, and she says that she wants to be with someone who undeniably chooses her. And when she says this, she starts to kind of tear up. And I do feel for Tyler in this moment because it sucks, right? It's like somebody, you want to be with someone that like it has made a decision on you and is sure, right? And I think the fact that Kevan is so unsure should probably show Tyler that this is not her person, right? Like, I know she's trying to give this experiment a chance, and production said she should just stick it through and like at least see where it goes. But I also understand how or how Tyler feels, where it's like, if this is too much for you, then maybe you should just bow out, you know? Tyler basically says she needs him to make a decision today. So Tyler is like, I'm done with this. Like, I need to know how you feel now. And, you know, Kevan says something along the lines of she's been fighting so hard and that she's been so rock steady and getting into it, and says that that's true love. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's been fighting so hard and rock steady. What are you talking about? Guys, tell me what Kevan is talking about. He's so weird. Like, I personally don't even think he really even likes Tyler. I do not. I think that he likes the idea that he has two connections at this point, because I'm like, what are you even talking about? She's rock steady. And what are you talking? This is your chance to say how you feel about Tyler, the things you like about Tyler. I don't know what he's talking about. Basically, he says he is choosing Tyler. But he says she's choosing fucking Tyler. Even the way he said that, I was like, he basically says that you are currently my girl. And Tyler says that she's his girlfriend now. Are we in second grade? Why is Tyler so caught up in this, like, because I remember she mentioned at some point, oh, I have to be a girlfriend before I'm a wife. What grade are we in? Like, she's so excited that she's like a girlfriend. Basically, and what I find weird about this is he never even said that they were boyfriend girlfriend. Like, this is just, it's weird. I don't know what's going on with Tyler, guys, but I'm actually so confused. We're gonna force a man to commit to us now. That's what we're doing. Maybe Tyler should have left, guys. I think that when she had her little crash out and was like, I think she should have gone home, because this is crazy. I'm like, what are we doing here? Okay, we go back to the women's quarters and we see Tyler basically tells Emma, you know, that she has a boyfriend, and explains to Emma that like they've kind of like locked in, her and Kevan. And Tyler then goes back into the pods with Kevan. And she says that she told the girls about how they like have fallen, you know, like have kind of locked in with each other. She wants to know why he struggled between her and Kia, like where that struggle has been. You know, Kevan basically, and then she also asked if he has love for Kia. And Kevan doesn't really say that he necessarily has love or is in love with Kia, but he says that they have exchanged gifts. And even hearing that, Tyler gets upset again. And she's like, she's like, why are you telling me that when you asked me to be your girlfriend? And I'm like, first of all, unless they cut the clip, Kevan never asked Tyler for her to be his girlfriend. He never said that. So that's just Tyler projecting onto Kevan. I don't know why. And, you know, Kevan says, I want you. But even the way he said, I want you, I do not believe him. And the crazy thing about it is Tyler doesn't believe him either. Because as he's saying words to try to reassure Tyler and not make her less upset, Tyler is crashing out on the other side. Like, you can tell she's like pissed off. She's stressed. She's like, she's freaking out, because I can tell that she doesn't believe him. Right. And I'm like, this is not your guy. He doesn't like, this is not your guy. I'm like, this is not. And Tyler basically says her husband would never make her feel this way. And I agree. Like, leave it alone, because no. He says that she's an amazing woman. And I just, yeah, I don't like Kevan. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. I think he's, yeah, Tyler could do better. Tyler and Kia could do better. We go back to the women's quarters and we see Tyler say that she feels like in the past 5 hours, she's been jumped by sumo wrestlers. And I thought that was pretty funny. And she's just trying to explain that, like, she's really been going through it, you know, and that this situation is not a situation that she would like to be in. We go back to Devonte and Britney, and he proposes and Britney says yes. So this is another couple that I'm pretty excited about. I think we've had 4 engagements so far, which is crazy. Okay, so then we go to Chris and Jessica, and they have their reveal. He looked very, very, very happy. When those doors opened, I felt like I could see Chris being relieved when he saw that Jessica was not, like, tall, right? Because that was his biggest worry, guys. We all know that that was Chris's biggest worry. He was like, how tall is Jessica? Like, that was what he was really worried about. So they looked really good together. She had these like heels on, and even with heels, she wasn't quite as tall as him. So I know he was happy about that. They kissed, and it seems like Jessica was happy with what she saw as well. I thought that they had good chemistry, and this is another reveal that I thought went pretty well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens between them. I thought that they looked really good together. He basically says that she's perfect. So okay, we go back to the women's quarters and we see Emma and Mike. And Emma has a gift for Mike. He gives her letters that her mom wrote about her when she was younger. And he reads some of them out loud. And I thought this was really cute and like a very sentimental type of gift. And I think that it also helped for Mike to kind of know more about who Emma is through the eyes of like her mom. So I thought that was really cute. He got her like a Love is Blind scrapbook, and he mentions once again that like he, you know, thinks that she would make a great mom one day. And he's, you know, obviously acknowledging that he's okay with moving forward with Emma, knowing that she's unsure about kids, which I've already said how I feel about this, guys. I don't think this is a good idea, because I can tell that Mike very strongly wants children. And I know Emma picked up on that too. And that's one of the reasons why Emma, I think, also didn't continue that connection with Mike, right? And let's keep it real. Like, nothing has changed. Like, Mike still very much wants kids. Emma still very much is not sure, you know? And like, I just don't think that this is something you should compromise on. I personally think Emma should have considered just leaving the experiment after things didn't work out with Connor. I think that I get that she wants to try with Mike because she's like, well, I mean, he's still a connection that I did have, but I still hold that like this whole kid thing is something that can be very hard to compromise on. So let me know what you guys think, but that's my opinion. I think Emma should have just probably gone home, personally. All right, so then we see Connor and Bree, and they have their reveal. He says he has some insecurities, and he mentions that he's like out of shape, like before the reveal. And in my head, I'm like, Connor, like you're good, man. Like you look okay. But everybody has insecurities. So hearing him say that, I'm like, that's fair. They see the reveal. They both seem really happy with what they look like. They immediately hugged and kissed, and it just seems so natural. I was just like, wow, you would think that they were already a couple or that they were already married. There's just a comfortability that they both have with each other that I really, really like, because at the end of the day, if you're going to be with someone for a long time, right, for the rest of your life, you want to feel comfortable with them, right? And that you can talk to them about anything. And I'm very excited about this couple. If I'm being honest, Connor and Bree and Jordan and Amber so far are my favorites. Like, in terms of like, I hope that it works out with them, and I have high hopes that it will. These two are by far my favorite. I feel like they're both very grounded, down to earth. So yeah. So Connor's hands were like really sweaty, and she was saying, oh my God, they're so sweaty. He literally steps back just to admire Bree. I can tell that he's really happy with what Bree looks like. And, you know, they're sitting next to each other at one point, and he literally tells her to move closer to him, and she's like, do you want me to like sit on your lap? And he's like, well. So clearly there's attraction there, which is a good thing. Yeah, once again, I'm really happy for this couple. Okay, so we go back to the pods and back to this mess with Kevan. Kevan still can't make up his mind, guys. This is episode 4, and Kevan is still unsure. Okay. Yeah, he annoys me, but that's okay. We see basically Kevan is going back into the pods to talk to Tyler. He says, hello, and no one answers. They show the pod where Tyler is supposed to be, and it's empty. Guys, I hope Tyler left, because I don't think, like, Kevan is not for her. He's not. So we'll see what happens. This is how this episode ends. We'll see if Tyler is still in this experiment, but I personally hope she went home. I think I'm just a little sad that Kia will possibly be the one that ends up with Kevan, because I still think Kia can do better than Kevan. I don't like him. But yeah, that's the end of this episode. Let me know your thoughts. Please let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.